right, hello everybody, hope everyone's doing well. So we are going to go on our maiden camping trip in Truck Camper 8.0. We're going to go to an area that's, I don't know, maybe 30, maybe 40 miles from Las Vegas. We'll do some hiking. Hopefully we'll see a natural spring, and it's going to be hot. Even where I'll be will probably be about 5,000, 5,500 feet, but it'll still probably be in the high 80s, low 90s. So we're going to try a couple strategies for staying cool and just see how Camper 8.0 goes. So stay tuned, and I think it should be a pretty good trip. We're driving up towards the campsite here, and I still got probably about another 2 miles down this road here, but you can see we're in what's called Pinyon Juniper Woodland Zone. I don't think it shows up too well in the video, but ahead of us is a portion of the Spring Mountain. Guys, so we are at camp. We're at 5,200 feet above sea level. According to my thermometer in my truck, it is still 90 degrees. I apologize about the wind noise here, but this is where I ended up parking. So this is a little pull off that we're in, and then this is a wash runoff. And the strategy to stay cool is, as you can see, I found a tree there and I'm parking in the shade. Now the question might be, Dave, what are you going to do about solar? And if you guys watched some of my previous videos, you guys know that I included about an 8-foot section of wire there, and I brought my foldable solar panels. So what I will do is I should have enough to run it over here and put the panels out and face it toward the south here. So we should have some good solar exposure, because obviously the solar panels on top of the roof are covered. And I'm gonna try a couple things. I'm gonna try just kind of venting the inside of the camper, see if we can get that cool, maybe run some fans, and then if we're still pretty hot, run the AC. Though I have a couple hours of run time with AC, even without any solar, you know, it's still a finite resource, so to speak. So I'm going to try a couple strategies of staying cool in lieu of firing up that solar, or excuse me, correction, firing up that AC, but we'll see where we go. All right, so I went and took just a brief hike. Like I said, it's about 90 out. I didn't want to get too overheated, so I only went about a mile. I came back. We'll actually go down to the spring a little bit later when it cools down. But I jumped in the camper and opened up a window, and I got the back door open. And over here, I've got my little USB fan blowing on me. And I'm just sitting back and relaxing. And I got to be honest with you, I'm actually pretty comfortable, and this without the AC or anything on. So, yeah, so I mean, it's kind of amazing just parking in the shade, relaxing, a little bit of wind blowing over you. Even in 90-degree weather, you know, it can be pretty comfortable. So, don't get me wrong, I'm not cool. I'm not like chilly cool in here or everything, but it's actually, I don't even really have the desire to fire up the AC, to be honest with you. So, but we'll try it in a little bit. But for now, I'm just going to relax a little bit. All right, so 281 watts of input from here, from these remote solar panels. And we are parked in the shade. Let's get some AC rolling. right, AC is running. And we're getting 278 watts in, and we're pulling, that's varying a little bit, maybe 450 to 470 watts with AC. And we're in the shade. All right, so this is living. It is ice cold in here right now with this AC going, and we're parked in the shade. It's actually going to be almost too cool in here in a moment. Temperature's breaking a little bit, but it's still in the high 80s outside. And yeah, guys, so it's going well. Maybe let me let it cool down a little bit, and I'm gonna rest, and I'll go on a little hike here once it cools down a little more. Apologize for the wind. This is kind of impromptu. I'm just taking a little afternoon hike here, and I'm just off the road. And here is this little, I'm gonna go wide angle here so you guys get a better perspective here. Here's this little patch of flowers. Zoom in here. Now I have no idea what they are, but look over here, look at this one. Let me zoom in a little bit more. That remote, that foldable solar panel and that remote setup, I really like that. It's nice to be able to park the camper in the shade. Keeping in mind I have the panels on top, so this is why it's important to have those foldable panels, is because the panels on top are not basically not producing anything because I am in the shade now. But it's really nice. You know, this is not applicable for maybe an urban camping or something like that, but if you're out in the wilderness like this, perfect opportunity. Park your rig under the, you know, you basically have a lot of flexibility. You can park your rig any direction. You don't have to worry about focusing the solar panels on the roof. You can park in the shade like I did here, break out those foldable panels, and they seem to be working really well. And man, this AC is doing really well. So far, so good. Up on a high spot here, just kind of looking over this valley. That's beautiful. There's a truck and the camper down there, kind of blends in a little bit. I'm really liking it. What a great trip so far. Beautiful. If you guys look real carefully out there, you can see some cars moving. Look in the light brown area just beyond the trees. That's a road heading to Pahrump, Nevada. It's a place where you can go get, they have legal brothels, so you can go there and get a hooker if you wanted. It's the home of Art Bell, now deceased of course, but remember Coast to Coast AM, old school. The land of Nye, if anyone listens to him, which I'm sure some of you do, comment below. But just that way, down by those cars, oh I don't know, maybe another 20 miles or so, Pahrump, Nevada. That's all I know about Pahrump, Nevada, but there she is. So this camper's working out really nice. It's it cooled down really nice. I'm just sitting in here, watching a little YouTube video, just hanging out. This is definitely my favorite camper. One thing I wanted to talk about was on the drive down, nothing fell out. Dirt road, a couple miles back to where I'm at now. All the drawer stays closed. The door over the in the secretary desk area stayed shut. The only thing that fell off the magnetic rack was my tongs. I'll take that. It's a big deal. Worked out really well. Be relaxing, head to bed soon. In the morning we'll go on a another little hike. All right, so we are walking up to where this natural spring is. We've had quite a bit of rain here in the desert over the last 2 or 3 years. It's been, I don't remember exactly, it's probably been at least a year since I've been here, but you definitely see a pretty good example. This is obviously a wash area here, but you can see where it washed away the roots, and you could see some of the buildup there of material. Probably part of the geology that made this natural spring here. You can see this big rock wall here. I'm not going to say I understand exactly how it works, but my understanding is if sometimes there's some, like a small fault or something, and well, I'll probably stop talking because I don't know what I'm talking about, but I suspect this has something to do with that spring. And as a side note, here's another pretty little flower. All right, we got a little sign here, restoration in progress, so I'm just going to honor that and not go any further. In different parts of the year, though, there would be water down here. It was not, there might be like little trickles here and there, but it was mostly just kind of I don't know if swampy is the right word, but basically just like water saturated ground, and there'd be grasses and stuff. If you look, I'm gonna zoom in here, but if you look way down there, it's probably quite obvious to you guys. You guys can see some grasses and deciduous bushes and trees back in there. The source of that spring is going to be back up in there. And again, just to honor the sign and so I don't damage anything, I'm not going to trample my way back in there. But that's water. I mean, we technically are in a little bit of a mountainous area, but that's about as good a water in the desert as you get right there. So I remember exactly where I was because this is a little walkway going up. We're going to walk up here, and I'm going to show you something else neat. There is also a secondary spring up here. Let's see if that one's any better. All right, here we are. This is another, it's technically another named spring, but it's just literally just a 100 or 200 yards from the other one. But you guys can clearly see all of the grasses. I don't actually see any water. It's probably sitting just at just below, or just in the ground, just at a low level there. But you can clearly see where, you know, there's water that flows in here. And right now we're, actually today's June 1st, matter of fact. And, you know, the grass is still pretty green out. Here's a little bit of drying up. So, now this one I've never, the other spring, I like I said, I've never actually seen the physical source where it's coming out of the rocks, but I had a pretty good idea of where it was. This one I'm not sure though. Maybe back in there? I don't know. All right, one more neat thing, guys. So yeah, there is water out here. All right, so these springs have been out here for who knows, maybe thousands of years, at least hundreds of years. And right here is a sign of prior human habitation. I'm guessing by the Southern Paiute, which was the predominant Native American group in this area, as far as I understand. These are what are called agave roasting pits. And it's essentially just a big coal bed. Now, you guys can see they've got, if you guys kind of look back, you can see the, you know, it's pretty eroded, and I've seen, right now there's a lot of growth in there, but I've seen areas where motorcycles have, you know, done little donuts in there, which is horrible. But this is, I mean, decades, I'm speculating here, decades, hundreds of years of habitation, of burning things and creating these deep pits, and they have this kind of this circular mound shape. But it's a neat remnant of human habitation in this area. I mean, clearly they were here because of the springs, which are just, you know, probably about 200 or 300 yards from where we're at here. Like I said, as we're sitting right now, I'm showing right at 6,000 feet. So a lot of these, and this is again per my understanding, if I'm wrong somebody correct me, or if there's an additional nuance, but my understanding, which makes logical sense, in these desert regions, a lot, these were populated by native groups for thousands of years. And what they would do is in the winter time, they would be down in the valley floors, and in the summertime they would climb to higher elevations. It's cooler. My understanding is this is, like I said, the pinyon juniper woodland zone, and the pinyon trees, I believe, produce a nut which they would harvest, and that would be a big food source for them. But I just always find this fascinating. Here we are outside of a modern city. What would I say, 35 miles from my house, per the odometer right here. A city of 2 million people, and you could still come to places like this that have signs of ancient habitation, which I just think is amazing. Where I'm at here, people definitely come to. I'm not going to say it's remote and this is a hidden spot, no one's here, but it's definitely pretty hard to get here. You would definitely need especially some of the roads that I drove in to get in here are pretty washed out. I would dare say you at a minimum would need a high clearance vehicle, and maybe I actually kicked the pickup truck into 4-wheel drive high, just as a precautionary thing, because I hit a little bit of sand. I think a 2-wheel drive could make it back here. It would just you'd have to be careful, but it's clearly not crowds of people walking around here, so it's still a really neat, tranquil spot to be. So, all right, guys, it's probably a fitting into the video. Thanks for watching Maiden Voyage of Camper 8.0, and some just beautiful country in my state of Nevada. I'm really glad to be able to enjoy this. Thanks, guys, for watching. Let me know what you think.